And here we go, spawning down in the bottom left. It is Consummate Sweater Man. From Berserker Esports, it's ShaDoWn.
In the upper right, though, in the red, arguably the best player of all time, certainly the best ZVP player of all time, he is Serral.
And he opens things up with a 17 pool. Despite the fact that he could have gotten away with a hatch first, I think he is concerned that ShaDoWn was going to cannon rush him, and he is playing extra safe here. He said, you know what, I don't want to have to deal with some kind of cannon rush. ShaDoWn has been the kind of player who in the past, in important matches against players that he thinks is better than he is, that will go for, you know, that will go for something like that, that will go for the Harding-esque or Print F cannon rush where you just go making an all-in. Now, we're not seeing that, but I think that's where Serral's mindset was. I think he's like, you know what, I want to be able to shut that down instantly. I don't want to have to deal with that.
Oh, absolutely. And inside and out is, if there is a map in this pool that is the cannon rushable map, it probably is inside and out. There's just such an annoying little spot behind the minerals that are right near where the ramp is at the main that it's actually very easy to wall that off with just a couple pylons. The cannon shows up and life becomes very hard. So really just nip that one at the bud, make it not really possible, and then go from there. But Serral, one thing he's known for, one thing has been his strength since the beginning of time, or at least since his dominance, is his ability to just get constant scouts every 30 seconds for the entire game, all game wrong. You can't really hide anything from this man, and he gets links into the natural, into the main base. Once again, he's going to see the Stargates up, and that, please tell me he doesn't get this drone. But okay, the Adept kind of messes his shade up a little bit, but that's a big drone pull, actually.
Yeah, he just lost so much mining time. He pulled like the whole mineral line, and even if each of them loses one mineral trip, which is actually probably a little bit more than that, that's 80 minerals. That's more than the cost of the lings right there. He didn't lose the probe, but I mean, he's going to force this Adept to shade at home. That's going to buy him more time to, you know, deal with any potential Adept pressure on the other side of the map. Like you said, he scouts the Stargate. These first two lings have been very successful. Serral did move out onto the map to try and crush the Zealot, wasn't able to get the kill there. And wait, okay, I was going to say, he can't shade forward, right? That would be a little bit risky. But, you know, a decent little start here for Serral off of a bit of a weird setup. But I like the way this has worked out for the Finnish player.
Yeah, at the end of the day, getting that scout forcing the mining time really, I'm not saying it 100% makes up for going 17 pool instead of going a 16, 17 hatch, but it gets you closer. So as long as Serral is able to defend against the Oracles, he should be in a wonderful spot to go into this game one. But Steadfast, as you point out, speed is done, but that is, he's back all the way into gas right now. So where's he going from this?
Yeah, he's already up at 150 gas. I am wondering.
There's no layer.
He's got double queen. Yeah, no layer. I was wondering if it was going to be like some kind of Nidus play, which would be extremely wild because you talk about oh my, wait, hang on. Oh my god, there's no warp gate from ShaDoWn. He didn't start it. He never started warp gate. This is not on purpose. This is a mistake. If it was void rays, you could say, okay, he's skipping it. Oh no, he starts it at 430. The pain.
Oh, now Steadfast, I gotta say though, the amount of games I've seen where, oh, by the way, he's also pretty heavily supply blocked. So he can't build Phoenix. He can't build a Phoenix that he wants to build to come out of this. I was gonna say the amount of times I've seen a Protoss player kind of forget warp gate and still somehow make it work because it just is not capitalized on. It is significant. I don't think Serral's gonna fall victim to that one though. Look at that! Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Serral's not gonna see the second Stargate, and he goes. ShaDoWn cancels the Phoenix that he's making, builds an Oracle until the Overlord dies, and then goes back into making Phoenix play. Now I don't know how much that really is gonna fool Serral, because who goes Oracle, Phoenix, Oracle? That's kind of weird, but certainly at least it makes maybe more of a doubt in Serral's mind as to what exactly is happening here.
Yeah, this is confusing from Serral's perspective right now because he's seen no warp gate. He's seen the cybernetics core spinning, which would make you think that this is +1 air weapons. He still sees no warp gate complete at this late in the game. This feels like it would like almost have to be a carrier rush. And like a really committed one at that. We are going to see Double Adept getting into the natural expansion. Serral, ooh, he is going to lose at least a few drones here. This, oh, hello? He pulled the Lings back. Serral, hello? The defense again, Serral, what? He just lost like 2 or 3 extra drones that he really didn't need to. Make it at least 3 extra drones.
The math normally says when you move in with 2 adepts, you get about 1 drone per adept before everything dies. If you get any more than that, you're very happy. So 6 drones right there is actually massive. And Steadfast, I'm wondering, you mentioned this, whether we're kind of in that state where ShaDoWn making all the mistakes is actually going to put him in a better position to win the game, because Serral, the way you beat Serral is by feeding him wrong information. So ShaDoWn has kind of accidentally given Serral the wrong information. Now, here come the Phoenix on the other side of the map. Queens are here, but it's only 1 Spore. Not enough Phoenix to actually assassinate all the Queens. So he's only going to lift drones, kill off 2 more. And does Serral read into this now that this is double Stargate? The amount of Phoenix that were there kind of leans into that idea.
No. He knows for sure that this is double Stargate. You wouldn't be able to get that many Phoenix out without 1 Stargate at this point. That's way too many for it to be anything else. The thing that has me wondering is, now does Serral just go for a push? He's building just pure roaches. He'd already stopped at 66 drones. Yeah, he's getting the creep spread up to the high ground. He's going to go with a ton of queens, with roaches, with +1 missile. And he might think that this is not a transition into ground out of ShaDoWn because of the lack of warp gate. It is still going to hit like a truck because, I mean, ShaDoWn's macro has just kind of been funky. And charge is not yet done. He will have +1 weapons and charge finishing up soon, but Serral is hitting right now. And I think with a very wonky, kind of mistake-riddled game number 1, I think Serral is actually just going to run over ShaDoWn right here. Oh, Archon goes down instantly.
Yeah, the Archon was really the only defensive thing. ShaDoWn actually couldn't afford to warp in 4 Archon or 4 High Templar to build 2 Archons, so he just has this 1 random High Templar sitting back there. I mean, I'd like a feedback to at least do something with it, but the sentries are going down. The Biles are going to get 24 probes, and that's just insult to injury here. ShaDoWn, he's been playing great in Group B thus far, 3-1 as we said, but this was not his best game. And I don't see a world where Serral loses that at this point. It's funny. We nerfed Queens. We said they can't transfuse off a creep. So Serral just gets the creep in ShaDoWn's natural anyways, and then they can queen walk anyways.
Yeah, nice job right there. Corrosibiling down the stasis ward, able to deal with that. He is going to push up into the natural. Sentries are going to be warped on in, and they might buy time. Oh, Corrosibile's even getting another Phoenix. Yeah, there's not a lot ShaDoWn can do right here. It's going to be some good force fields here, and Serral does leave the army a little bit exposed, but even with that happening, like, we're looking at a 70 army supply lead right here, and I think we're looking very promptly at the end of this game. Another nice Corrosibiles on those Phoenixes as well. As you mentioned, Serral's creep spread is now in the natural of his opponent. This is this is more than over at this point. This is a massacre now.
And there we go. ShaDoWn typing GG. Oh, that's some frustration right there.
Oh, I think that actually might have just been a misclick.
Fair, yeah.
On the but that was still a little bit funky. Oh man. Yeah, this was weird.
ShaDoWn can play better. ShaDoWn absolutely can play better, but it's one of those things you run into when you are definitely not the favorite. You are the massive underdog, and you acknowledge that you have to play better than you ever have to beat a player like Serral. So if you feel so much pressure to make this upset happen, you are going to make mistakes. You are going to play worse. I mean, there's been a lot of research about it. It's called choking. All right, you go and you kind of go out of body, and you just make all these mistakes that you wouldn't normally make. Whereas if you can forget that Serral is the 3-time world champion. No, he's 2-time world champion. One BlizzCon, one Katowice. He is the 2-time world champion, arguably the greatest player to touch the game, certainly the greatest Western player to touch the game. If you can ignore all that and say, you know what, this is just another game. It's just another walk in the park. You will play probably up to how well you can play, but it seems like ShaDoWn was caught up in the idea that this was Serral that he has to try to take down in game 1.
Yeah, and I mean, it's always going to be difficult, but when you are not just playing against one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT, and you are also playing against yourself, you're just never going to win. You are never going to be able to win that.
Well, let's see if ShaDoWn has at least can fight with himself instead of against himself as we move into Data C for game 2.
And here we go, spawning up at the top right. His opponent makes some mistakes, does something weird, and he says, okay, just go kill him. And he does. For NC Sports, it's Serral.
In the bottom left, hoping to clean things up a little bit, maybe give himself a big war cry for Berserkers. It's ShaDoWn.
Okay. Well, we're seeing something that I wanted to see here out of ShaDoWn. Once again, by the way, Serral going for another pool first, and he even checks the natural. He is so sure that ShaDoWn is going to cannon rush him. And you know what? I don't blame him. I don't blame him that he's playing extra safe. ShaDoWn, though, he's going to play extra greedy. He's going to go for a gas first. After how Serral opened in game 1, I really like the approach. You know that Serral's not going to flip the script and cheese you. I mean, he did go for the aggressive push out, but that was a responsive one as opposed to a 12 pull, which is a proactive bit of aggression.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, when we talk about how the last game, when we talk about aggression in this game, Data C is a much bigger map. It is a lot harder for Serral to, say, push his creep into his opponent's natural by 8 minutes. So if ShaDoWn wants to go for a similar style, as the Lings are going to start to wind their way across the map, we're going to have to see whether ShaDoWn can block that scout. He was not able to in game 1, but it actually takes less buildings to block the natural on Data C when compared to inside and out. So at least you have that. We're going to have to see... Oh, sorry?
Well, we got to talk about the fact that ShaDoWn has no idea that these Lings are coming. These 4 Lings are going to get in here, and the Adept is not being chrono boosted. If the Lings just go after the pylon, there is a chance. Okay, there we go. There's the chrono boost. Okay, he's not going to go after the pylon. He's just going to go into the main base, splitting into the natural as well. This is already going to cause a little bit of a ruckus.
Well, he's going to get one drone, which doesn't ever feel like that should happen when it's two Lings against the world, but gets one probe down, it gets a damage on another, and he's got to play Ring Around the Rosie with these Lings. And actually, the Adept's not going to kill it, so the Ling's going to be able to regen. This is such a pressure, mental pressure, that ShaDoWn is struggling with in this game number 2. And again, the probes take damage. One Ling is dead, but they're just not dying, and it's a full scout of the main base once again. ShaDoWn's mining of the natural has been denied. He's going to get a second probe for the cost of literally one Ling. That's the only thing that's died this far.
And he lost track of the other Ling. ShaDoWn is completely crumbling right now. He didn't start his second gateway unit. He has lost track of these Lings in the main base. This Ling is getting even more lost mining time here. He's going to get another probe. 3 probes have gone down to these first 4 Lings. Oh my goodness, this is actually catastrophic. I like to measure things in terms of when does the Zerg catch up to the Protoss in workers. Usually if it's high 30s to 40s, it's decent for the Protoss. If it's late 30s, it's about even. We're talking like 38, 39. If it's like 42, that's good for the Protoss. If it's early to mid 30s, it's decent for the Zerg. If it is early 30s, like we're talking like 30, 31, which is what it was this game, it is an amazing position for the Zerg.
Yeah, I mean, Serral's economy going like gangbusters. ShaDoWn was not even allowed to mine from his natural until right now, effectively. The two Lings denied all mining in that base, which is just absolutely ludicrous. So we're gonna maybe the Oracle get some counter damage. You can never count it out. 2 Oracles, 1-shot workers. He is going for triple Oracle behind this, and Serral has neglected spores. He's been a little bit greedy about that because I don't know, maybe he thinks he can afford to, but right now Oracle dives and miss micro. He only gets 1 now. Now he gets a second, but actually kind of thought he was going to take more hull damage, but that could have been so much more. So meanwhile, Ling's on the other side. He warps in a Zealot to try to deal with this, and that's going to go down too. Yeah, life is just pain and misery for ShaDoWn in this game too.
Yeah, I will say that Serral really didn't need to build those 10 lings. And that actually slowed down his droning a little bit, and it meant that that pivot advantage that I was talking about wasn't as sharp as it could have been. But then he gets a little bit of damage done with those lings. He's going to come in once again. He will force these oracles back once more. Oh, did he just turn on all 3? Okay, no, he turned on 2 of them. Did he? Actually, hang on. Let's take a look at battle report. Oh, man. It doesn't actually show that it's activated, but still keeps these oracles at home with a very small number of lings. Serral is kind of running laps around ShaDoWn at this point.
Yeah, the entire point of the triple oracle build is to have 2 oracles on the other side of the map that one-shots workers. It provides so much worker pressure, and your third oracle just sits at your third base. It just sits there, it denies any sort of ling aggression. But the fact that ShaDoWn has brought all 3 oracles back is just making things go from bad to worse. And this build that ShaDoWn has gone for, the hero style, swarm toss, whatever you want to call it, is so predicated on hitting its timings as crisp as possible to force the Zerg to respond in certain ways. And because Serral has done such a good job of A, defending this, he only lost 2 drones, and B, getting damage done with his lings into ShaDoWn's natural, denying mining for so long, it means that these timings just do not exist. So ShaDoWn, he's got his 4th base on the way, which you want to do with this style. You want to be greedy as hell. But Serral's aware of it, and just all the timings are a kilter now.
Yeah, this game has gotten a little bit weird. Ooh, and a Nidus Worm coming in here from Serral. Ironically, this actually... I mean, he's going mass roach with this. He's going to go for a similar play that he went for in game number 1, even though, of course, there wasn't a Nidus Worm. But it is going to be that 66 drone roach printer with the +1 missile with the roach speed. Ironically, Blink Stalkers are probably the best thing you can have against this, but not if your opponent gets into your main base. And if we look at ShaDoWn's vision, he's got no vision of this main spot. Absolutely none. And this Nidus Worm is going to go undetected. Oh, man. There's units out on the map. The queens are going to be able to pop out with this. This is looking pretty brutal for ShaDoWn here.
Yeah, Nidus is not normally how you deal with this build that ShaDoWn has gone for, because, of course, the pressure there that ShaDoWn is able to put on with this style prevents that from happening. But if you are Serral, you get so much damage done. Biles dropping down, just killing a couple drones or probes, because why not? But yeah, if you are ShaDoWn and you take so much damage early and your timings are just shut down so hard, then absolutely your opponent can get away with something like a Nidus. That being said, it is Stalkers fighting against not all the roaches. The queens are on the right side, the oracle's on the left side, so ShaDoWn is actually handling this very well to start, but he needs so much more to make this happen.
Yeah, this is already looking extremely tough. We've got a Nidus Worm coming down outside the 4th base. All the oracles do fall. The creep is spreading throughout the main base. This base belongs to Serral now. I'm sorry the real estate agent didn't discuss it with you, ShaDoWn, but it's too late. The papers have already been signed. And GG gets called. Serral will take